Get ready for your weekly dose of pixie dust with Disney Coast to Coast.
Hey folks, and welcome to Disney Coast to Coast, the ultimate unofficial Disney fan podcast. I'm Jeff DePauli, and in today's House of Mouse headlines, a Nightmare Before Christmas event is coming to Disney Springs, plus tons of Star Wars news, including info about the Millennium Falcon ride, Star Wars VR coming to your home, and some updates on Kathleen Kennedy's time leading Lucasfilm. That and so much more, so let's get to it.
Here are the latest news from the Walt Disney Company in today's House of Mouse headlines.
Early morning magic returns to Magic Kingdom on December 2nd, and there is more to do than ever before. In the past, the many adventures of Winnie the Pooh and Seven Dwarfs Mine Train were available, but now you'll also be able to enjoy Princess Fairy Tale Hall, It's a Small World, Under the Sea Journey to the Little Mermaid, and Mad Tea Party. The breakfast included will now be at Cosmic Ray's Starlight Cafe instead of the previous Village House location, and the cost of the event is $79 for adults and $69 for children, on top of your regular park ticket. It runs from 7:45 a.m. to 9 a.m. on select Tuesdays and Sundays, and breakfast is available until 10 a.m. My assumption is that most of the people who take advantage of these events are guests staying at the resort for approximately a week. Once you're staying at Walt Disney World for an extended time, you end up getting a much better value for your daily park tickets. So by adding on an event like this, it's essentially jacking your park ticket cost back up to the normal park price if you were getting the value beforehand. It's kind of an interesting technique Disney has to get the full price out of you, even if you're getting a deal. And obviously, it seems to be working since this program keeps expanding. Over at Disney's Animal Kingdom, a rumor has been denied, as Disney has officially said that Rafiki's Planet Watch is not closing permanently, although it will be closing for an extended time beginning on October 21st. The area is set to reopen in spring of 2019. Now that's not a huge amount of time for a closure, but it is a decent amount of time allowing for some major changes that aren't yet announced. I'm still putting my money on some Zootopia updates. Disney has announced the narrators for this year's Candlelight Processional at Epcot. Returning narrators include Whoopi Goldberg, Neil Patrick Harris, Jodie Benson, Gary Sinise, and more. Do you think Gary Sinise even knows that he's been replaced at Mission Space? Anywho, new narrators include Helen Hunt, Alfonso Ribeiro, Bart Millard, and Auli'i Cravalho, who Disney fans know as the voice of Moana. If you're vacationing at Walt Disney World during the holidays, this really is a not-to-be-missed performance. The performance is free to anyone in the park that day, but if you want to guarantee yourself a seat, Epcot has numerous dining locations that offer a meal and ticket combo. Adults 21 and older can now attend a Nightmare Before Christmas-themed Halloween party at the Edison in Disney Springs. This one-night-only party is on Halloween night, October 31st, and you're encouraged to arrive in costume inspired by Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas. The event will feature live music, dancers, small food plates, a welcome cocktail, a costume contest, aerialists, stilt walkers, giveaways, and treats. Tickets can now be purchased for $85. Over at Disneyland Resort, a lot of favorite festivities are returning for the holidays, but with the return of these favorites comes the loss of others. Paint the Night Parade will be ending its run at Disney California Adventure in early November, along with Pixar Play Parade at Disneyland Park. As of right now, there's still no return date for World of Color, which means that this year there will most likely be no World of Color Season of Light at Disney California Adventure. I'll be curious to see what they do over at DCA to make up for the loss of that fantastic show this holiday season. After the holidays, of course, in 2019, the thing most Disney Parks fans are excited about is Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. Disney recently gave us some more information about the Millennium Falcon attraction in the form of a special feature from the Target home video release of Solo, a Star Wars story. In the short bonus feature, we learned that this attraction really will rely on the guests to move the story forward. Different outcomes will occur based on whether or not you have a successful mission. Here's what the executive creative director had to say. You're truly in control of the fastest and most iconic ship in the entire galaxy. And Hondo, he's gone ahead and added a couple of extra seats so he can get as many of those flight crews through as possible. There are 200 some odd buttons, knobs, and switches on the inside of the cockpit, and they all do stuff. If you're the gunners in the center there and you don't fire back on those TIE fighters fast enough, they're going to riddle the hull with laser bolts. The engineers in the back, it's really up to them to keep the whole Falcon in working order, so they're back there furiously working away at their various systems. If you bring back all the loot and there's not a scratch on the ship, and Hondo is really happy when you bring it back, you might find yourself with some extra galactic credits in your account. But do a poor job, you lose the cargo, you smash up the ship, you might come back owing more money than you started with. The boss man might not be happy, and when you roll across to the local cantina, the bartender might lean over and say, "Hey, word on the street is your name's been put on the list of a local bounty hunter. I'd watch out if I were you." So how well you do on this mission really does have an impact on your overall land-wide story. Now, this definitely sounds like some next-level stuff for a theme park attraction, but I'm curious to see how much of this changes once the land opens. I think it'll be really, really difficult to get every guest to play along. Maybe they just want to sit and be a passive observer. Or what if they don't understand English? Once this opens, I feel like there will be a wide learning curve that will eventually change aspects of the attraction. It seems like a really tough job for the Imagineers, and I wish them all the luck in making this attraction work for all park guests. May the Force be with them. Disneyland Paris Resort may not be getting Galaxy's Edge, but that doesn't mean that there isn't plenty of Star Wars available across their resort. From January 12th through March 17th of 2019, Legends of the Force, a celebration of Star Wars, will be taking place. Included in this celebration will be entertainment we've seen in the US parks, including Star Wars: A Galaxy Far, Far Away, also known as the Star Wars Fashion Show, and the First Order March with Captain Phasma, plus a brand new sound and light show. In the spring of 2019, you'll be able to bring a virtual reality Star Wars into your homes with Vader Immortal, a Star Wars VR series. This is a 3-part series collaboration between Oculus and Lucasfilm's VR division. Writer and executive producer David S. Goyer, who worked on the Dark Knight trilogy, is lending his talents to this project. The story takes place between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. In the story, you'll come face to face with Darth Vader and explore his fortress. Now, Darth Vader is the ultimate bad guy, and I don't really think that the Star Wars universe will ever top him. Because of that, I feel like a lot of future projects will continue to take place between saga episode timelines, just so that they can keep Darth Vader alive. It's a bit of a problem I feel they've created for themselves. One of the things I like most about this is that it's a series and not a game. Now, I'm not much of a gamer. In fact, I'm quite bad at gaming, so the fact that you can just sit back and watch this story unfold makes it more appealing to me. If you're happy with all of this stuff happening in the Star Wars universe, one person you can certainly thank is the president of Lucasfilm, Kathleen Kennedy. If you can believe it, she's been leading Lucasfilm since 2012, and now, according to The Hollywood Reporter, she recently signed a contract to remain in that position for an additional 3 years. One thing's for sure, the Star Wars products aren't slowing down anytime soon. Now let's hop over to Aulani, a Disney resort and spa in Hawaii, where they have some Halloween festivities headed their way. Most of these activities are free to resort guests, but a couple of them do have additional fees. They'll have the Halloween Aloha-style dance party, plus Ohana Disney Halloween movie nights. In addition, they have Kiki pumpkin decorating, a treasure map telling guests where to go throughout the resort to do some trick-or-treating, an Ohana Disney pumpkin carving contest, and an interactive Halloween cookie decorating demonstration. So there are quite a few Halloween offerings at Aulani if you just so happen to be headed there this October. I'm happy to see them getting in the spirit over there in Hawaii. Speaking of Hawaii, in 2020, Disney Cruise Line will be headed back to Hawaii from Vancouver after a 5-year hiatus. And for the first time ever, Disney Cruise Line will be offering excursions from New Orleans to the Caribbean and the Bahamas. Adventures by Disney also has some new short escape offerings, including Boston, London, and Vancouver. Since Boston is my hometown and I love that city, I'm going to share with you what Disney had to say about their Boston excursion. On the new 4-day, 3-night short escape itinerary in Boston, travelers will discover treasured American history and spirited contemporary culture. Guests will be immersed in the city's legendary stories during privately guided tours along the Freedom Trail and the Old North Church, where many famous moments of the American Revolution took place, and a special after-hours visit to the Boston Tea Party Ships and Museum that concludes with a private dinner steeped in the city's storied roots. Other family-friendly excursions and activities include rowing along the Charles River, biking the city on a private adventure, exploring the grounds of Harvard Yard, wait a sec, I'm from Boston, I need to say that one again, exploring the grounds of Harvard Yard, and indulging in a delicious buffet of seafood, chicken, corn on the cob, and more at a private New England clam bake on Thompson Island. A little while back, I told you about Mickey's 90th Spectacular to air on ABC on Sunday, November 4th, and now Disney has released new details on who we can expect to see at the celebration. This televised event will feature appearances from Kristen Bell, Sophia Carson, Tony Hale, Sarah Hyland, and Disney CEO Bob Iger. Also appearing will be performances by Josh Groban, NCT 127, Leslie Odom Jr., Zach Brown, and Meghan Trainor, who will be singing You've Got a Friend in Me from Toy Story. I don't know why, but I feel like her voice is very fitting for that song. I'm sure there will be many, many surprises along the way, but this alone sounds like quite the party for Mickey Mouse. That's the news for this week, but of course, before we get going, we gotta get to this week's Twitter poll. On this past Wednesday's episode of Disney Coast to Coast, it was all about some past shows of Disney MGM Studios, so I asked you guys, of the following shows from Disney MGM Studios past, which did you like most, or which would you most like to see live? Your options were Dick Tracy, Ninja Turtles, Doug Live, or Goosebumps. In last place was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles with 18% of the votes, followed by Goosebumps with 22% of the votes, and Dick Tracy and Doug Live both tied at 30% of the votes. Now guys, it is a new month right around the corner, which means there will be a new music playlist available, and of course it being the month of Halloween, we've got a Villains music playlist coming your way. If you're not signed up for that, head to DisneyCoastToCoast.com, click on playlist, and sign up for that there. Of course, leave your 5-star ratings and reviews on iTunes. It helps other Disney fans find the show more easily. And I want to let you know about a new offering over at DisneyCoastToCoast.com, and that is a merch store. You can now get Disney Coast to Coast apparel, home decor, cases for your tech equipment, and more, and it's more than just the Disney Coast to Coast logo being featured. There are some fun options there, including merchandise featuring Expedition Everest's Disco Yeti, and more will be rolling out over time. So be sure to check out the merch store at DisneyCoastToCoast.com. Now, this episode of Disney Coast to Coast was produced by Philip Elke, who has supported the show through Patreon. If you'd like to become a DCTC producer or gain other rewards, more information can be found at patreon.com/DCTC. But for now, folks, have a magical day. Bye!
Thanks for watching Disney Coast to Coast. Have a magical day.
Disney Coast to Coast is produced and hosted by Jeff DePauli. Learn more about the podcast and become a supporter at DisneyCoastToCoast.com.